Giannis's future in Milwaukee finally over? That's what we're getting into today. You remember me, I'm your host, Cam McPherson. No Jay Granderson today, but we do have my boy Kodak Ack. How you doing, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. A lot of good series I've seen this week, so should be some good content. I'm excited what we're about to get into.
All right, so we all know the current situation in Milwaukee looks quite bleak. Three consecutive first round exits, not to mention Giannis did average 34, 14, and 5 over this series. Dame, obviously, the torn Achilles, looks like he's going to miss most of, if not all of next season. They have pretty much no promising young prospects. I don't think there's anybody on that team you're going to point to and like say maybe this guy can be a key contributor next to Giannis. And they don't own their own first round pick until 2031. Did Giannis play his last game in Milwaukee this week? What do you think, Aaron?
I don't think so. I mean, he's still under contract. Dame's still under contract, whether they like it or not. I think if you're the Bucks, no point trying to rebuild right now. I think you just got to kind of ride on what you have and try it again. And I mean, Dame has what, 2 more years left, I believe, not just one.
Yeah, Dame has 2 more years
So
on his contract, and we know that that's a fat deal. 57 million, I want to say, something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
quite large. It's bigger than it probably should be. But I mean, at the end of the day, not what I think they should do, but I think they will do is I think they'll just keep running it back.
Giannis has 2 more years on his deal, not to mention the player option. They have already announced they're going to have a sit down meeting with Giannis this summer to discuss his future with the team moving forward. Already, ESPN, Bleacher Report, every other news source that possibly exists is going to be running wild with Giannis trade rumors all summer. I do think Giannis's future in Milwaukee is over at this point. I mean, he had a great run there, obviously brought them a championship, but if I'm him, I'm not waiting around for a rebuild. You're still in your prime. You're still a top three player in the NBA at this point. It sucks to suck, but I think because you brought them a championship, they will trade you. I mean, there's plenty of teams out there that will offer up the treasure chest of picks and young players in return. And you can really start your rebuild off on a good level. I think the first option I'd like to go over with you, Houston Rockets are clearly interested in making a move this summer. Whether or not that's going to be for Kevin Durant or Giannis remains to be seen, but they have plenty of picks, valuable picks, because don't forget, they have that Suns 2027 first and that 2028 first from Phoenix. Those are obviously extremely valuable. It doesn't look like the Suns are going to be very good moving forward. Not to mention a slew of young, promising players, Sangoon, Reed Shepard, Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, a ton of different options. Do you think the Houston Rockets are going to make a run at Giannis?
Just don't know. I just don't know. I feel like the Rockets kind of like what they have. I'm not sure they want to mess it up. I'm not sure they want to bring anybody new into the fold. They might want to just keep developing their players and go kind of an Oklahoma City Thunder route where they keep developing the guys they already have while adding those new high draft picks alongside that. So I'm not sure that would be the best landing spot overall for Giannis.
My issue with that strategy is their half court offense is not going to get better with the current slew of players they have. Nobody on that team is really going to take over and give you a 30 point per game, which is what you have with Giannis in the half court, with how dominant he is down low. I think the ship has sailed with this current setup, and whether that's Jalen Green's fault or not remains to be seen. But I definitely think the Rockets are going to make a move to try to improve that half court offense. But anyways, we know OKC is going to be in the trade market as well. They have that treasure chest of picks. If you look at every first round, second round pick for the next 10 years, 20% of them is probably owned by the OKC Thunder at this point. They're also going to be in the trade market for the Kevin Durant's, the Giannis's of the world. Is OKC a realistic option?
I think that's much more realistic. They're a bit of a matured version of the Houston Rockets. They can afford to be creative. They already have the core in peace. They know these guys are proven they were the one seed. So I think that's a much more likely destination for Giannis is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Absolutely.
Well, Bleacher Report's best odds for Giannis's next team is actually both is him staying in the East, which is what the NBA is praying for sure. The Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks have the best odds for Giannis at this time. Me personally, I don't think the Nets are a realistic option. Specifically, I think they're too far away. Giannis isn't going to want to go to a team where he has to fight for a play-in spot. He's going to want to be one of those powerhouse, dominant upper seeds, top three seed, whether that's in the East or the West. I just think the Nets are too far away. Now, if the Knicks lose this series to Detroit, I do think the opportunity to acquire Giannis opens up for New York.
Yeah, if you're New York though, what are you going to give up? That's the thing. I mean, they've kind of done a lot to get to where they are. How much more can they realistically do? I think that he fits great with the team they have. The question is, how do they get him on the roster?
I mean, it would have to be a complicated scenario. You're going to have to make those salaries work. Probably Karl Anthony Towns would get moved in the trade, whether they like, obviously they'd like to keep him, but there's no way you're going to be able to keep both of those guys. The last interesting option, San Antonio trade talks are heating up. I mean, Keldon Johnson, Castle, they have plenty of picks. And a pairing of Wemby and Giannis defensively, on the very least, would be absolutely horrifying for NBA offenses.
Yeah, but I just don't know if I love that fit wise. Wemby's getting better at the three. Is he going to be a huge threat from three going forward? We don't know. There's already too many non-shooters on the team. Jeremy Sohan, non-shooter. Um, and then you got Stephon Castle as well, who's a non-shooter. So it just, ah, I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love the fit in San Antonio. I don't think it'll work out as well as people think.
So if it's not OKC, you don't think he's going to get moved? I mean, gut reaction right now, when we look at this in a couple of months, and if Giannis doesn't end up in Milwaukee or on a different team, what would your position on him be? Is he staying in Milwaukee or is he getting moved? Call
As
your
of right
shot.
now, I would say moved. Do I think he should? No, I think those are different questions. I think OKC makes the most sense, but I could see New York. I could see San Antonio. They have a lot of valuable picks, young players. I could see them making a move. And like you said, Houston has the juice to do it. Do I think it's a good idea? Probably not. So, again, we'll see what happens. I'm not perfect, but I don't think if I'm the Bucks, I'm trading him right now.
I'm gonna agree with you. I don't think the Bucks should trade him, but I think they will honor his request if he asks out because of how much he did for the city, bringing them a championship. But we'll see. It's gonna be a big summer of Giannis rumors. But appreciate everybody for locking in. We're gonna continue to try to get more of these YouTube videos up every week. It's obviously hard to stay consistent, but we appreciate you guys with TikTok and Instagram and everything else. Peace.
Absolutely.